All right, we have a new tournament. It's the Big Rig tournament. It's going to be at the Sequoia on the Sequoia Holes, Sequoia Creek. But we have new pin placement, so we'll have to see how that affects it because I know some of the courses they've done this pin placement change on. It's been significant. So how we normally go to the hole, if we do that same thing with the new hole placement, it could be problematic. So there's a lot of holes on here. We're gonna have to see, and I'm really curious on the par threes. Like, we'll just have to go out and see like where they put them. This hole right here, I will tell you, I'm not sure that it's going to matter because the goal is to get over there, and you don't necessarily need to get on the green, but just getting over into the area, trying to get a bounce one, bounce number two, go for it. I think there is one version of this where you can have your second bounce and clip the rough and then bleed out, or you can try and get it where you can get the top spin right where you can get bounce number one, bounce number two over, and then run across without trying to get over the backside. And if I remember correctly on this hole, it slides across it, so you can hit it a little wrong and end up going very fast. So we'll have to see. I'm sure what ball we're going to pick, depending on how much overpower we want to do, is going to be. And I will apologize right now. I'm just the messenger. When they made these Sequoia Creek holes, this is like Eagle Peak. This is one of those courses that if you have low-level clubs, you can create mid-level clubs by upping your ball. If you've got upper developed clubs, you may not have to bring out as big a ball, or you still may bring out a big ball. So this course is going to eat your power balls if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses at the top. And you can bitch and whine all you want, but that's the deal. So the people that are at the top, if they've got a big ball inventory, this is the type of course, especially with bigger balls, they're going to have a market advantage. And there's a couple of the holes, if they have some bigger balls that have some extra side spin, that could be very advantageous as well. Let's go look at hole number one. Hole number one. Okay, I got it fresh in my mind. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I need to take as far as ball. So we'll start off with a power. We'll start off with a Titan, the king of balls. And if that doesn't work, we'll jump it up to a power 4 ball. We'll see. We'll see what we need. I think I can do it with my extra mile. Extra mile. And it may be one of those deals where I have to use overpower if I use a 3 power ball, but I have to use no overpower if I use a 5 power ball. So it might be better to use a 5 power ball to be consistent. We have no idea which way the wind's blowing here, so the one thing that has been since the very beginning of the game, one of my bitches and irritants is that during the tournament right here, we have no idea which way the wind's blowing, but whatever way the wind starts blowing on our tee shot, when we get to our second shot, the wind's going to be blowing that same direction. And it seems like they can get that done when we're playing in tournaments, but for some reason it's impossible to get it done when we're playing one-on-one. Okay, right there it's kind of making it over, but that wind's going to push it back. We'll see if we can get it done with a power 3 ball against a headwind. And that was like one ring great to the left. It's either going to make it or it's not going to make it on that shot. That shouldn't have killed it too much, and it wouldn't have made it. Even if I hit it perfect, it wouldn't have made it to that pad. Power 4, power 5 ball, if you want to consistently get down there. If we got a pure side wind or a headwind, I think or a tailwind, it won't be a problem, but with any kind of headwind, you'll probably have to up it to at least a power 4. A 4-4-4 would work really well, because you'd get that extra power and it cuts the wind down. So it's enhancing itself. That was a slice. And that is no freaking bueno. That is a bad spot right there. Bad. 2 rings great to the left is not going to go in. I'm not sure that the pin placement on that is really... Are we actually seeing the new pin placement? Because I'm not sure that's any different than it was before. Maybe. It seems like we had to run it hole-in-one before. And my opponent is definitely doing the wise thing. And just getting themselves back in play. Max curl on that shot. I don't know that I would be doing... You trying to get it to go to the left. And they sliced it again. It's almost like they did it on purpose that time, because I don't know why they didn't use the other curl to bring it around the tree. But nice to get back to the normal putter. I was not a fan of that modified putter at all. And the developers of this game, you know that they're wishing that they would have started it off like that. Because putter would definitely be a club people would be interested in getting better. If they hit that perfect, it's probably going to go in. Quit doing overpower. Just a bit outside. Just a bit outside. Okay, so I'm not sure that I really noticed any difference on that hole. So let's go check out hole number 2 and see if the practice actually has got the new pin placements in it. What is hole number 2? All right, there was, in the past, we could do at minimum club, and I believe we were using, it might have been a Navigator, it might have been a Quasar with a rock, and doing a rough bump. I think there was a slight adjustment here. I'm not sure if we were using minimum club, or if, because it's downhill, if we were doing a max number at min and then still doing an adjustment. I'm not sure. I'm just going to do an adjustment where I'm at, and we'll see what the deal is. So if I'm at minimum rock, it should be 1.3 per ring. And I'm going to take a Quasar just in case I need it, but we'll have to see if they actually change the pin. Then this may be that may not work. None of that might. Where in the hell is my pin? I can't touch the screen. I used my pin, and so then I got to double tap it to get off of it. So let's see here. Rock. We might have been using a Katana, but I'm going to use a Quasar. We'll have to see. Here we go. So you can go straight at it, but really the best way to go for a hole-in-one on it is to do the rough bump. And it's a pretty safe area in there. There's no sand to deal with. There is a little bit of a hill where you're setting it up. You don't have to worry about any special push-up or pull-back, or it's just once you get the wind adjustment figured out, then you can fine-tune it from round to round. If I can get an opponent. Come on, man. It's going to take like 6 hours. Come on. Thank you, Clark, from the Hawkeyes clan. Welcome to the channel. Put my perfect glasses on. Maybe I can see a little bit better. Where is the pin? So it's actually closer to where the rough bump is, because before the pin was more kind of to the left and further back. Okay, let's do the wind first. It's 2.6 divided by 1.2, 2.16. If I can get out here where I can see it. Maybe I can get out far enough that I can see it. 1 and a titch and 5 and a titch. 2.6. I'm going to do 2.16 rings. It's 2.2. Hitting it perfect. Let's see how far off that is. Just a bit more, and I should have pulled it a little bit more, so I should have added on like maybe 10%. So where you're at in the club plus 10%. That'll be the next time I hit it. We'll try it out and see if it works. See if we can get a little closer. Taking the short putt. All right, so that hole, there was a definite difference in pin placement. It's actually, I think, in a better spot now than it was before. Before, we had to kind of stretch the topspin out. Hole number 3. What is hole number 3? Let's go look at it. All right. So if I remember correctly, this is one of those holes where we're trying to, I think there is a layup that you can do where you're laying it up down here and you're coming at it from this direction, and you're trying to get, this is probably, I think my buddy Dunner, he actually brings a horizon on this hole for his second shot, so he's trying to lay up in this area and get as close to this rough as possible, and you get your red lines out in here, so you got like bounce number 1, bounce number 2 going over, clipping the rough and then bleeding out. So horizon will work really well because it's got a lot of topspin, and it's got, as you get it developed, it does get some ball guide, but it doesn't have a lot of accuracy, so if you hit it great to the left or the right, it's way off. The other way you can go for it is try and go over where you're in this area, but you've got to really be cognizant of these trees. These trees aren't, if you're thinking trees like we normally have on a normal course, these are those damn ass sequoias, so like these are huge ass areas. And you can actually get, if you hit over to the other side, let me see if I can get the picture to actually stay like I want it. If you get, so where the pin was before, now if they move the pin over to this area over here on the far side, it's really going to be difficult, because where it was at before, you know, you can draw a line on this side of the trees and you can draw a line on this side of the trees, and either you needed to be right here or you needed to be past. This area right here could suck. And so if you had, depending on which way the wind's blowing, you can get way out here, especially with some of the Power 5 topspin boost balls that we have, where you can actually get out here into your long iron range. But if you can just get even here just clear and you've got a sniper, you do have several different options for coming in. What you could do is try and lay up in this area where you can come around this side and you can actually do the rough bump. Whereas when you're over here, you've got to do it on a second or third bounce. So we'll have to see. We'll just have to kind of see what kind of distance we can get based off the wind. So we want max distance. We use bag number 1. Bag number 1 and a Power 5. And we will go out and see what happens on it. We'll see where the new pin's at. I'm not worried at all about the shots going into the pin. I'm gonna try my hardest. Now there's some of them that you just know are downhill. Like, what the hell is the deal here, folks? There are some of the holes that you know that you're downhill, like you know that the ball is going to carry farther just from, you can't even begin to get close to your rings. So in those cases, especially in the ones where you're like at minimum club, you can kind of hedge your bet and you can do a max ring adjustment, because that's, in most cases, that's like a 30% wind adjustment just by doing a max number instead of a min. It's in that neighborhood. Man, that wind pushing up against it. Now they do have a power 1 ball, I will say that. With that wind, I'm probably more in the effect of going to clip the rough and just bleed out and be right there at the beginning. And it does look like they put it down in that bottom corner. Where did they put it? Oh, it's in the back. Four. Just going to adjust for side wind. Getting it perfect. And see if it can beat that wind, pound up against it and get all the way over. But I think it's going to clip the rough and then just bleed out. Oh, I didn't quite get out. You can see how much, and I'm seeing that effect more and more in the game. They've changed the dynamic. I mean, we've always had, when you get on a hole and you go, oh yeah, I can just, when you're going up against a headwind, you just do a 10% adjustment. Those numbers, in my opinion, on a lot of these holes are bullshit now. Because the way that the wind's actually pushing up against it, even, it's almost 100%. So for those people that lay up there at the beginning, I think Denner's really going to like that whole position. It's opened up a little bit more than it was. No, I'm not sure that it's that much different. I'm at max club, so it's 2 per ring, so that should be about a ring and a half. I'll put a little bit of curl. And a little teeny bit of overpower. And I didn't make it out either. I was trying, it was one of those deals, you got to get right at the end of the fairway, so that bounce can bleed you through the rough and get over to the other fairway. But if you're just a little bit too close, you'll hit the rough at the top, and then you won't go anywhere. Or if you hit it just a little too soft, you'll hit back and it won't make it through. I can make this shot though. My opponent made theirs, I can make mine. We're not getting chests anyways. I don't understand the deal about, like, if you win out on the course, you should always get a chest. One ring great to the right. Unless the wind was not a factor, that's not going in the hole. I did try and hedge my bet a little bit and give myself a great to the right, but I didn't hedge my bet quite enough. There's a certain point on those distances when you're hedging your bet and you're trying to give yourself the outside shot, or one side or the other, that you can actually take it so that none of them will work. Like, you get so close to the edge that a perfect will rim it and a great to the right would rim it. So in that case, I was hedging my bet, but I didn't go all the way. Hole number 4. Are we only on hole number 4? Is that it? All right, this is another one that there was a rough bump that we could do off of this, and it was kind of a pain in the ass rough bump. There were several spots, but the spot that you wanted was down here by these little bushes, and you could bring it around. You needed to have a 3 side spin ball. So we were taking this with a katana. So if they moved it up into the front area, especially on the right hand side, then this shot's going to be enhanced. But if they moved it to the left, especially if they moved it to the left and low, I don't think we can get around there. I don't think there's enough side spin. Now, you may be able to bring out like a 4 or 5 side spin ball if they moved it to the left and still be able to get this done. But it would be helpful if they moved it to the left, if they also moved it forward. I'm betting money that they put it in this front area. It puts more of these traps into play, so it makes it harder, so you can't just start off in this area right here and go straight for the cup. You're going to have to do something to get around this trap, and it does take out, I think maybe if you were using a 5 side spin ball, if it was over here, you might be able to get to it, but I don't think so. There might be, if they put it over here though, there might be a rough bump that you could do on this side. That would be scary. This is definitely a narrow little rough bump. If you didn't hit it perfect, you're in big ass trouble. We'll have to see where they put it. Here we go. What do we want to take? Let's take a katana. I know a katana will work if I do the rough bump, so let's take a katana. We'll start with that. I think the only ball, let's see here, side spin. I do have some of those 0 power 5 side spin, 3 power 5 side spin, 5 power 5 side spin. So I suppose if I was going to try one of the 5 side spin balls, it'd probably be the 3 power one. We'll have to see where our red lines are. Here we roll. Getting out on the course. I remember when this tournament came out, I was having a ton of internet problems when this tournament came out. It seems like these holes, there's some of these holes that seem like they all have a little glitch, but for whatever reason, when these holes came out, a ton of people were having problems with the game. I was getting so much glitching that I don't think I hit a perfect all week. And I really like these types of holes because there are different ways that you can play them, but you have to make sure you've got your bag set up. And then depending on how you're playing, it's like you really have to precision lay up the shot. Like if you're putting the ball over there because you're trying that second shot, then you really got to make sure you're in the right spot. And they put it in the opposite side of where, man, I would have put it up there towards the front on the sand side on the left. That would have been a tough hole location. My opponent's got a pretty good line on it right there. Their shot's going down that hill, so they're getting a little bit, just because of the way that the ball is coming into the green, it's almost giving them a little bit of backspin. It's almost giving them the I'm hitting the rough and doing a rough bump when you're not hitting the rough. There's several holes in the game that have that effect. Let's see if I can get over there. Man, that is scary close to that sand, trying to do that shot. Now my opponent was in this area right here. I'm just going to do a full adjustment, 3-6. I have no idea where I was at in my club. I was trying to see if I could get that shot. I wanted to see like if we could get it from that angle, but that sand looked like it was pretty damn close. I just did a straight up adjustment there, so going down that hill probably a good 10 or 15% would have put that pretty close. That shot's going to be pretty straight up. I'll have to get on this hole. I'll have to see if I can get a hold of Dunner so we can go out and play, or I could do it with my other account where I'm trying to log on at the same time, but it's always funner to play with a friend. And see if we can get on this hole so we can really spend some time seeing what's possible there. Try out some different balls. See what can be done. In the hole. All right. I don't remember any of these holes. I mean, I remember them when I see them, but like I'm trying to think ahead of as far as like what other holes are on this course, and I can't think of a few that we haven't played yet. Maybe hole number 5. All right. So let's get this out of the way right off the top. You have 3 directions: A, B between the trees, and C. Let's talk about C first. I have seen a few people try and go that way, and it does look enticing, where you can start off and try and come around this way to get this bleed going down here. But what you really want it to do is kind of S. And as soon as you say, wow, what I really need to do is S, what you really need to do is find another shot. I've seen it happen where they got down in here, they got their first bounce close enough to the rough that their second bounce cleared and hit over here, and then they just ran through it and they went straight down there. So I mean, it's definitely possible that you could do it on that side, but I think consistency wise, this second bounce, because anything great to the right, the rough gets longer on this side, so that means you have to hit it farther forward in order to clear the rough. And I think the opportunity for a screw up here to get stuck up at the top is much higher than if you do the shot A or B. Going between the trees is all about hitting perfect. So I mean, if you can hit perfect, you know, it's not bad, but you can't put a lot of curl on it because it will clip this tree. So normally when I take this shot through the trees, I aim right towards the, if you think of this tree, here's the tree, I aim right towards that outside edge, or maybe even towards the center of it, so that you can put a little bit of curl on it, and when it comes through here, instead of flying on that path, it will go around the tree even though you were aimed towards the center. But you really don't have a lot of room to the left or the right. You may have one side or the other, but you're typically not going to be able to hit a great to the left or the right and still make it through. The one this way is a little bit easier to set up, but it's super ball dependent. You want to look for where you're hitting out here. And, you know, a 4 power ball or a 5 power ball is going to make this shot easier, because if you're going against head, especially if you're going where you can set it up and pull back a little, or even if you're at the red line with a power 5 ball, if you've got a headwind, it's not going to be that difficult to get past it. I'm going to bring a Titan. We'll start off with a power 3 ball just so that we can see what we can do with a power 3 ball, if I can grab a hold of anything. Titan, the king of balls. And it may be a situation, well, and depending, especially if you've got really upper developed stuff, if you've got a level 7 Apocalypse, you're not using your extra mile anymore. Because it gets its ball guide, now you're red hot, and it gets more topspin, and now you're red hot and rolling. So it's going to be one of those two bags. I'm going to try the Apocalypse. Because in a situation like this, raw distance, I'm trying to get over to the other side as far as I can for the first bounce. All right. Maybe I am having a problem. Hold on. All right, let's see if it gets any better. If it doesn't, then we'll do one more thing. I ran a test on it and everything was good, so I don't know. I'm not sure what their issue is. One more time, and then I will stop again. All right, hold on. All right, I've tested all my stuff, and I've checked all my stuff, and I am smoking. Smoking fast. I don't have any issues with any of my stuff. I ran the test. I've turned everything off. Turned it back on. Everything's good to go. Here we roll. If I can find an opponent. I gotta wait and they'll give me a replay because who the hell's practicing hole number 5? Now, we were setting this up going this direction. Let's see where I'm at when I'm fully pulled. That's blue ring. I'm going to do half my blue ring in the rough. 4, 5. Should be 3 rings. Isn't it perfect? Let's see if I got my curl angle right to run down the... I didn't. I should have used max curl. I could have used max curl right there, and that would have been much more better. Well, I'll have to play this hole again because I want to do that one more time. I think I had 2.5 rings max curl. I don't know why I set the shot up for max curl, and then I hesitated and caused a wreck. I don't know if there is a max overpower hook shot here. I think that tree that's right there is in the way. But we'll find out. No, they were inside it, but they were off trajectory, I think. No, that looks awesome. Very nice. You need to go out just a titch, like maybe a half a ring. Even coming through, if they hit the rough like that, they would have bled out if they were in a half a ring. There's max. There's mid. It's at 4 per ring at mid. Couple backspin. Get right up on it. It's 4. It's 3/4. It's about 0.8. Oh! If I was going to hit it great one way or the other, that was the side to hit it on. Close. That pin placement's not going to hurt us at all. I think before it was more towards the middle and maybe just a little bit back. In this situation, instead of dicking around with it and trying to do your running topspin, this is one of those situations where you want to get up close. The deal is it's a hard wind angle to do too, because the wind is pushing you forward only while it's in the air, but then once it does its run, it wasn't. So like how much they moved it, that was, they way were off the hole for as close as they were. In the hole. All right. I want to practice that one more time because I want to do the max curl thing because I think it's going to be either, I might need to go out just a little bit more. Normally I would do like 2 rings, but 2 rings look like I was pinching it a little bit from... I should have did max curl for damn sure. And maybe even 2 3/4 rings now that I think about the angle there. Let's go back and practice that hole one more time. I want to just get that drive right. I want to see if my Apocalypse can make it down there with the topspin, or if I need that extra topspin that an Extra Mile has. I don't think I was putting on all the topspin with an Extra Mile. Now, I was talking about balls earlier. There's 45 holes in a tournament. That's not including any practices. Right, so if you play 18 in the weekend, 18 in the opener, and the 9 for the, so we got 45 holes. Not including practice. If you write down like what you're using on each hole, this course is going to eat your bigger power balls. If you can get it done with a lower power ball, hey, that's awesome. I'm going to go the 2.5, 2 3/4, 4/2. I'm going to still do the 3 rings. Max curl this time. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if it gets the run down. That was like 2 3/4, and I could probably go 2 7/8. Almost 3 full rings out. If I wanted to get a better line at the cup. And I think with headwind, like right there I did maybe close to a 10% adjustment. Were they trying to go in between the trees? Because that looked like it was just going to slam right into it. That's exactly what it looked like it was going to do. Hello. In the hole. All right. Let's think about this next hole. What we got here? This was a par 4, so the next one's... What is the next one? It must be a par 3. Isn't it perfect? Close. Good luck in that stuff. In the tournament, Dabrika. All right, let's check out hole number 6. What is hole number 6? It's a par 5. All right, so there's several ways that you can play this. And I guess we're going to have to kind of see where they put the pin. I'm not sure that it's going to really change. This is kind of like one of the holes that we've already played here, where if you're trying to go straight forward, you're getting a bounce out here, and then you're trying to get a second bounce. I have made it through this and made it onto this fairway several times, but I will tell you, I've ended up in the rough or the sand more times than I've made it over. You really need a tailwind, and you really need to hit it perfect so that your end trajectory is going through, so that you've got some kind of movement where you're going through it in this area where it's the narrowest. Once you start getting out here to the sand, even if you make it past the sand, you may get caught up. then you're in the clear out here and you got a beautiful shot. But if you end up on this pad, depending on where they put the green down, and as big as the green is and where the pin was, they probably put it over here on this side, which is a better thing for people coming from it from this direction. And it takes a big ball to even get out to here, let alone try and get out here. Now with the topspin boost power 4, power 5 balls, if the wind was blowing in the right direction, I think this area here is definitely possible. But if they move the pin over into this back corner, this side right here, even if you're on the center pad, might not be the angle to come at it from. So what you can do here is you can start off on this side and try and do a max curl shot. So this is going to be your rock. If you've got an Apocalypse, whatever driver you have that has the most curl, that's the driver you're going to use. So if you have a ball, because the deal here is where the pin was before, if you draw a line to this tree, you really, let's clear the screen off so you can see. So we got a pin and we got a tree here. So you really needed to be on this side of this line in order to have a clear shot at it. If you were on this side of the line, you may have to have side spin in order to bring it around. And if you were really far back, you may have to put on curl in order to bring it around. So if they move the pin to this area over here, you're going to have, this is going to open this window up a little bit and you won't have to get over as far. But it's really easy when you're trying to do this type of curl shot where you're bringing it around for you to tail off against this edge. And so you're putting yourself behind the tree. So this may be a power 4 side spin ball, even though you're not using the power. Like if you don't have a lot of 4 or 5 side spin balls, I think with a power 5 side spin ball, you might actually be able to get out into here and there might be a max overpower hook shot, but I'm not sure. There are some shots that we could explore there. I'm going to bring a Kingmaker to start off with, and I'm going to bring my number 2 bag. Maybe. If I can pick it. My number 2 bag and a Kingmaker. Now if I was going to do one of those bigger side spin balls, I've got, where are those ones I bought? The 3, these ones right here. 3 powered. I didn't really buy the backspin boost. If it would have had topspin boost, this ball would be perfect, but I don't know that I'll ever use the backspin boost. But the side spin 5 was really the deal, because there's a few of these shots, and this is a particular hole where this is actually kind of the hole for it. Let's bring it. Let's see what we can get done with a 4 power or 4 side spin. And I may not use that ball at all. I may go straight forward. We'll have to see where they put the pin. Okay, we're going to go through this again. Are you guys just dicking with me? Yep. They're like, hey, this guy's filming. Let's do this. Like they singled me out. If it happens again, we'll have to hold on. I guess my stuff stabilized. If I can get an opponent. It's funny how the opponent stuff goes. I know a lot of people bitch about getting matched up. You got to remember too that especially when you're playing a tournament, so who you're playing out there on the field is not necessarily who's in your bracket. I'm not sure how it works anymore, but like when the game first came out, if you got on and started playing, as soon as in that wind, it's going to be super tough to get over. Be 2 rings off. 3, 3. I'm gonna do about a 3, 6. Max curl. Hitting it perfect. See, even with that side spin, I still got a little bit too far out there. I may be able to take that up with that side spin when I come at the cup. But if I can't, the deal is just be back a little bit farther, and it'll open that up. So put on all of the side spin, because I think I still left like a half a bar of side spin on, and take out a little bit of that top spin. If I remember correctly, like where you're normally at on this, you need to bring a bigger drive or a bigger wood than a sniper. So we'll have to see like what kind of distance we got. Okay, we got pretty good distance here. Yeah, it's pretty hot. Okay, there's the +1 mark. Blue ring off. Pretty damn close. I'm going to do 2.2 rings. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. It's going to be close. Close! Need to pull it just a little bit more, so like maybe a 10% pull on that. Just a little teeny bit more. But you can get up there, and that I will tell you that the 5 side spin ball helped on the drive, and it helped on that second shot. I still think it would have been better to put on all 5 of the side spin. It would have cost me a little teeny bit of top spin, but I had room, and it would have opened that shot up a little bit. It would prevent the one where you got a hold of it and you got just a little bit farther than you got right there. And or if you hit a grate to the left. All right. That pin placement actually, I think for the other side, and it almost feels counterintuitive. Let me go at it. I'm gonna play this hole one more time, and I'm gonna play it to the other side. We'll see if we can get better wind. Maybe I can get some tailwind or some just pure side wind, and play over to the other side and see what the angle to the cup looks like, because there was dead spots out there before that if you got behind those trees you were bad. Let's play that hole one more time. Let's practice it one more. Let's see how many practice tokens I have. Hole number 6. Let's practice that one more time. I'm gonna try. Let's hope that I get a better wind so that we can do the forward shot. Even if I have a bad wind, I'm going to try the forward shot just so I can see what it looks like. See what the wind's doing to it. How hard it's pushing up against it. If I can get a freaking opponent. Is there a play replay button? Karamba from the Poland family. Welcome to the channel. Here we go. All right, what we got here. My opponent goes first. Baby. They're taking a quasar and doing an overpower, so we'll see what kind of shot they can get set up. And that's not that bad a way to go at it. But having a smaller ball is definitely going to affect that second shot. Hopefully they brought a bigger wood than a sniper. Let's switch this up. Let's take my number 1 bag. Let's put as much as we can get on it and see if we can fight up against that wind and just bleed off into the rough on the other side. That was one ring great to the right. And can't get through. That rough is tough, and especially where that tall grass is out like that, the rough is really thick. Dead in behind the tree. So if I would have clipped there, if you're clipping the rough and you're trying to bleed out into that fairway area, that tree that's dead in my way is the tree that you're trying to clear. And so before, you barely had to get onto the green. Like if you were a quarter of the way onto that fairway pad, you had a pretty straight up shot to the old cut position. But it almost looks like now like you might have to get 3/4 of the way. Let's see if we have any shot at all. So in order to clear that tree, I'd have to be on this trajectory, so I would have to be out about 3/4 of the way. So that's one shot. I don't have enough to get around. I have to put curl on it. I have to put curl on this one as well. Might be able to get that though. Three, 4. See if we're gonna hit the island. Not a good look at what it was out there, but I think if you're gonna hit out to that area, you can't just bleed onto it like you could before. Really, if you're gonna hit to that island over there, let's go out and look at it. I think you're really gonna have to. You really would have to either make it all the way to the end or make it all the way over to the other side. There's not going to be any more of that just limping over to the fairway and still having a great shot. It's kind of funny though, because that, well, I will say that it makes it easier on the first shot if you've got a 4 or 5 side spin ball, if you're bringing it around. But before, like, you could really go for it and go forward with a bigger power ball, and they've kind of taken that shot out. Now they're trying to push one of their other ones. Let's go look at that hole. Let's look at it. So getting out into this area, you saw exactly what I was talking about, where you're bleeding forward in your shot. You can only get so far around the corner, and then if you're trying to run it forward, you're going to be heading towards this transitional area, and where it's pulling you in behind the tree. I think I had like 4.5 of the 5 side spin. I need to put on all 5 of the side spin and just take my lumps on the top spin. There was enough top spin I easily cleared as far as my second bounce, and so the extra top spin is going to pull me on the inside, and then the extra side spin will pull me to the right, and then the lack of topspin will keep it back so that I can clear that tree a little bit better. If you hit a great to the left, I think you'd still be fine. But really, with that pin placement, if from where the pin is now over here on how this tree comes into play, you're really going to have to get all the way over. I would say if you break this into quarters, these first 3 quarters are useless. The third quarter, You could get at it with some, you might be able to get out with spin depending on the ball that you brought. You could easily get up there with some curl. And I think even from any of the spots that you could get up there with curl and recover. But having that perfect shot at it, I think really the only place that you're going to be able to do that on the forward, unless you get lucky, is in that front quarter. Or trying to bridge the gap and get over here. So this shot right here has gotten, it was a risk versus reward thing before because you could get out here, and because of the old pin placement was way over on the left hand side of the green, it opened it up. So if you draw the line here, you had 3/4 of this that you could have a pretty good shot at. Now you've got 1/4. So this inside shot may be the one to go, and I do think that a 4-4-4 would work really well. Anything with 5. There we go. There we have it. All right, this is another hole we can get on in 1. Now, depending on how you go down there, I have gone through this area up here and actually gone through. See if I can get rid of that shit. I have come through it like this, where I've come in on this side and actually gotten up on the green and fallen down. We'll have to see where they put the pin. It really doesn't matter where they put the pin, because the whole goal is just to get, the whole goal really is to get right here or right here and be off the green and just chip it up and get your eagle and move along. If they moved it down into this bottom corner, we're going to have some pretty good runs at hole in 1, because there is probably the best way is coming out like this and going for this lower part so that you can just get the chip up. The goal here is eagle, okay? Not hole in 1. I don't need to get on the green in 1, but I don't want to have to take a shot from over here or even from out here. Let's get as close as we can. You can try and get your bounces right to try and make it over the sand, and it's possible, but I would go to either high or low, and the low, the area on the right, is definitely the easier way to go. And this hole is very ball dependent, depending on which way the wind's blowing. So if the wind's blowing tailwind, I think we can do it with a power 3 ball. But if the wind's blowing headwind, we may have to bring out a bigger ball. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I think if you bring out a bigger ball, you may not have to do any overpower. See if my opponent can get down there. They got a quasar. And for those of you who have mid-level or lower level clubs, those topspin boost balls, those 5-power topspin boost balls, especially in one like this, because if you get, we got good tailwind going with us, you can use the wind and you can use the topspin boost. Perfect. Now that's a little farther than I'm trying to get, but that will work. That dog will hunt. You got a great opportunity from that distance. .47. It's 2.1 per ring, so that leaves me. I'm gonna do 2.5. Isn't it perfect? And we'll see if I can miss that tree. Nope. So we can't set it up for a max curl shot from that spot. Partial curl, half curl. I'll have to play this hole one more time so we can get that shot down, which is unfortunate because this is a pretty good wind for us, so still make it from this distance. I see a lot of my opponents that get disheartened when they're in their rough iron or sand wedge. I mean, obviously you would rather not be in your rough iron or sand wedge, but when you're in them, hey, set the shot up. Take it. Be serious about it. Shot goes in. Do the same routine on it and you'll have some success with it. There's Max. There's Max. Where's my shit? Max. Mid. Mid. See if I can run some top spin. How far out can I get? Yeah. I'm going to do a one ring pull. That's a plus 10. And I can get so far down to it. I'm not going to do the one ring pull. Oh, that was the worst side to hit it great to, too. If you hit it great into the wind, you have a better shot of it still going in. But when you hit it with the wind like that, the wind's just going to push it off. No doubt about it. Unless you made a massive bad adjustment. Let's try that one more time and see if we can get that through there without hitting the freaking tree. And I'll just do like a half curl. If I can get an opponent. That's a big if. Thank you, Chris, from the Loco Lobos. Here we go. APOC. Power 5. Precision 3. I'm curious to see like where that ball's going. They had it set up, it looked like they were trying to do the upper, but they didn't adjust out the wind and it looked like it was just going to go right into the sand. And it went right into the sand. All right. Let's put it all on. Probably don't have to do anything at all. All right, 3-6. Do about half curl. Oh, shit. And then I just hit it right to the tree. Just a little too hard. I could have used the power 4 right there and it would have been perfect. I was thinking about switching, but I was committed at that point. I was thinking, wow, I should actually just use the wind in this wind direction. I could have did a lot of things on that. Nice in the hole. In the hole. All right, let's see if I can do the same thing. All I have to do is hit it perfect. That's all I have to do. It seems so easy. Getting it perfect. In the hole. Woo! Look at that. recovered from that crappy shot, but that's the deal. So just don't hit it 2 rings great to the left. And set the shot up the same way with half curl. And it will, I'll have to work the ball there depending on the wind, because that's one of those holes. If we have tailwind right there, I could have used the power 3 ball. And I could have saved myself the power 5. I could have just left the wind in. And if we have headwind or side wind, we can make determinations. Because I think with side wind, we might not have to do anything with a power 4 ball other than just hit it. Maybe slight overpower. Maybe. Hole number 8. What is hole number 8? This must be a par 3. All right, and this is a tricky par 3 too, because of the terrain here. So this is area, this area A is up, and if I remember correctly, it goes down through the B area, and then it comes back up to the green. And so like there's a trough, it comes up, and then the green itself is kind of like this. So it's going to be one of those things that it's very easy to, it is easy to overrun if you hit the green and you go past the cup, you don't get your speed right. It's easy to overrun it and end up in the sand trap. So we'll have to see. This is really going to be tough if they moved it further back. If they moved it closer to the front, I think it's going to be pretty good. Like if they moved it closer to the front, I'm definitely going to want to be, for me, normally in these types of holes where we have this type of movement where we're up and down and then we come back up to the green, I'm usually like, I like to hit from the bottom spot here, because you get one bounce coming down and then you get a true bounce for your second one. And so when your second bounce comes up, your second bounce is actually landing up here on the green and then rolling out to the cup. But when you involve this hill and you get one bounce here and then you bounce on the hill, well, because you're on this hill face, your next bounce is going flat and forward. And so it's one of those things that on this type of green, it can pick up speed and roll off the back like super quick. You could get up close here on this hill right here and put on backspin and try and bring it up to the cup. So we'll have to see what where the pin placement is. I'm going to come at it with a katana, because I think with a katana I can cover all my bases. If I need spin, which I shouldn't. But you can't go wrong with a katana. It's an awesome ball. I'm going to take that bag. I'm going to take a sniper to this gunfight. Here we go, hole number 8. Let's check it out. They give us these new pin placements on these par 3s. I mean, obviously on the par 3s, it's the one shot and you're done thing. So you're going to feel it the most, because you may have had a shot set up for that other hole in one. But they've got a power 3 ball. They could move that red line back a little, drop into a power 2. Power 1 would be even better. Or they could up the ball even higher so they could take it with their grizzly. It is the other way to go. Two six. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if they can get that in the cup. I don't like that bounce where it's coming onto the green. It hits that hill face. Let's see where I'm at in my club. There's max. At about mid club. If I can see what the hell I'm doing. 3-4. It's 1.1 per ring, so I'm just going to do a full mid adjustment. hitting it perfect. I think if it it looked like there, if I didn't pull out enough and it went just even a little teeny bit forward, it was going to run really fast. I was trying to set that shot up so the first bounce was down at the bottom and the second bounce was already on the green. I didn't want to bounce on that hill face and then run up to the green. I wanted my second bounce to be on, so it'd run a little bit smoother. Perfect. All right. I think I like that pin placement better than the old. That one's towards the front, so that's helping us out a little bit. Hole number 9, what is? Okay, I remember hole number 9, and there is a ton of different ways to play it. So, and I remember the last time we played this, because we have these bigger side spin balls, it's trying to, so you can lay it up in here, you can do a max curl shot and try and get it up towards the tip. And if you've got a club that doesn't have a lot of curl, you can supplement that with a bigger side spin ball. You can hit it out into this area and lay it up. To me, this, of all of these shots, this is kind of like the least desired, like just like laying it up. And you have a straight up shot, but you need to bring a big wood for your second shot. And a bigger, and be respectful if you're going to lay it up out there where you have to come in with a bigger club. If you have to bring out a big dog or a cataclysm or a horizon because you need the raw distance and you didn't bring a power 3 ball, what the hell were you thinking? I mean, at least a power 3 ball. You can go straight forward through these trees, this big ass tree and this clump, and try and get out into this area. You can also try and bring it around where you come on this side of the tree and you get out into this area. I have tried to get out and make it all the way over to here, and I've been close. And I may have made it once, but I've been close more times than I can remember. I think I may have made it once. I may have. I have fond memories of maybe making it one time, but it may have been me just chipping it over there just to see if the shot was even good. But there is a beautiful shot from up here. But I think with some of these bigger side spin balls, you may be able to actually get up into here with a Apocalypse, starting off on this side and then trying to bring it around. And I've got one of those 5-5-0 balls, and I'm gonna try it just to see. I'm gonna just see if you can make it around that corner, or if it's even possible. It may not be possible, but some stuff on these holes has changed because of the ball inventory that we have now. Power. 5-5-0. 5-5-0. Let's bring an APOC to this gun, to this party. Bring my number 5 bag. All right, we're gonna play that game again. I thought we were past that. I got dots. Here we go. Play this hole, and then I'm sure my mother-in-law is staying with us because it's been super hot here. It's been over 100 every day for the week. This coming up week, it's supposed to, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're actually working because the temperatures are supposed to be like in the 70s, 80s. And I work outside, so I don't really want to work in 103 with 70% humidity. Short iron. Welcome home. The Welcome Home clan. Let's see if we can get some action here. I go first. All right. Let's see if I can even, like, where does that even put me? I'm going to put it all on there because I want to see. I'm going to put all of the side spin on, and however, I'll put 4.5 of the side spin on because that way I can get 4 top spin. At least get some. I set it up 2 rings off of that rough. And I'm going to take the wind out. That was 2 rings on the inside, and it'll clip right here. Oh, I can't believe it made that. So I don't need all that top spin. So I could put on the side spin. That will help me. And maybe instead of 4, just the 2. It just seems like there's a big ass lane that goes down through there, but you have really got to get your bounces right in order to get it to go through and to get down onto the green fairway. And my opponent's going to have a beautiful shot from there. Nice. That dog will hunt. I keep having to take shots with my Nirvana, which I'm okay with. Mid club. I'm getting down into that quarter. If I run my top spin. $16 per ring. Do a half a ring. Not much. Oh! I hit a freaking great to the right. And in the hole! Can't be good, be lucky. If it's going down that hill, I was trying to get as much break on that, because it's going down that hill and it is breaking to the right. So, and it's almost, I've had a lot of albies on this hole before, because where the pin placement was, it seemed like there was a big ass trough down there. Like if you hit it with the right speed, it would just kind of like funnel down into it. Excellent. End on a high note. I think that's the area I'm going to go to up there. There's a lot of different ways that you can play it, but I'm going to play trying to get all the way over. And I think I may not get that much distance if I only, but I'd be on the fairway where I have a great shot. Because I was in, man, that might even be max short iron from that distance. It's definitely going to be mid to minimum long iron. Because that was, you think of from that area where I was at. Let's see if we can get a picture all the way up. So from where I was up here in the rough, I was in mid club was here. So my Nirvana's at 120. So we're talking about 60 to get there. So that's short iron distance. So if you're out in this area here coming around, you're going to be right on that verge where you're either going to be at max short iron or you're going to be at minimum long iron. That would be really nice to take. Because if you're in this area here, you're definitely in long iron. And I would imagine it, depending on ball, you could be in your wood, but if you bring the right stuff, you're in long iron down here. So I'm going to work on that shot this week and see if that see how that looks. I usually in one-on-one I'm always up high, because I bring that rock and I'll lay up right here, and then you got a sniper shot and you have the same type of deal. You got a really long putt. You're starting up close to, and you're running your tail out there and rolling down the deal. So I'm used to playing from this side. So I'm gonna try that out. There you have it. That is the Big Rig tournament that we're having this week, and all of the holes are going to be at Sequoia Creek. How did we do? How did we do on our scorecard? I don't think I got everything because I was just practicing, but I think we did pick up a few. I didn't pick up anything in the first 4. There had to be at least one hole there that I needed to pick up because there's a par 5 in there I needed to get an eagle on. Yeah, we have some opportunities on this course to pick some shots up. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully everybody has a great week, and stay safe. Stay cool if you're in an area where we're having heat waves all over the United States, and if it's not a heat wave, it's raining, and so stay safe. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.